Now, if you're like me and you receive well over 100 emails per day, it can become pretty overwhelming in quite a short period of time. But I've learned some ways to make you more efficient, more effective with Gmail. So let's jump right in. Now, you'll notice on my screen that there's really two sections. There's an unread section and there's an everything else section. What I highly recommend to prevent you from becoming overwhelmed with multiple pages of emails, look at creating 3 different labels. The first one I recommend is an action item label. So this is going to be for any email that you need to do something with. So for example, let's say I get an email that is requesting a shirt size. I know it requires action. I need to reply. So I'm simply going to move that to the action items because I don't have time to do it at this exact moment. Then what we want to do is take a look at the next one, which is called read later. So I notice I've received some information about evaluation overviews. I don't need to read that at this moment in time, but it's certainly something I need to read within the next week. So I'm going to move that to read later. The last one I highly recommend that you create is waiting on. So this is a situation where perhaps I'm waiting for someone else to respond to a question, or that I need to ask a third party a question before I can make a response. That's when I would move that type of email into the waiting on section. And then last but not least, create a long-term storage section for different folders. I'm going to open mine up and you'll notice I have several, but there's a reason for that, because after I've either responded to an email, I've read it, or I've waited on something else and I've been able to respond, it may be information that I want to keep for the long term, knowing I will not get to it next week or need it next week or next month, but at some point I might need to come back to it. That's where your storage comes into place. Now you notice I've got a Z in front of the storage. There's a reason for that. Gmail likes to keep everything in alphabetical order, so I had to put a Z in front of it. So the way that you create these labels is really simple. Just click on the plus button, give it a title, whatever you want. I'll just say Action 2. And now you have a choice. If you do not nest it under anything, then it's going to go in alphabetical order at the very top under labels. In this case, I am going to choose something to put it under, and I'm just going to choose under AI, Create. So now what you'll notice when I go to AI, I'll have an arrow button to click on to expand it, and there's my Action 2. Alright, let's talk about a few other things to make it a lot easier for you in Gmail. The snooze button. So you'll notice that this one has snoozed 1 hour ago. This is something that, hey, I need to come back to it. I don't have to take any action on it, but this is something I want to get to today. It's the reason why I didn't put it in the action items. But I wanted the snooze to serve as a reminder, and here's why. If I pick an email down here under everything else, or anywhere else for that matter under labels, and you go to the little clock icon, you click on snooze, you can then choose when you want that email to pop back up in your unread section. You can give it a date and you can give it a time, and I've found that to be very beneficial when I've got an email that I would like a reminder. Say it's a meeting that I'm going to have and I need that resource, I like to set the reminder time to come up for it. The other thing I want to show you is this. I just got a brand new email. I don't have a lot of time to read it. I need to summarize it. I'm going to go to Ask Gemini, and I am going to ask it to summarize. Hit enter, and it's going to give me a very short summary with that. Not only does it give me a short summary, but what's also neat about it is that I can ask questions based upon the information that it gives me within the email. So it asks for, is there a deadline for a survey? And yes, so it went ahead and gave me the date for the deadline for the survey. So just a quick tool to find important information that you may need. Now let's take a look at, well, how do we schedule things in Google Calendar from our Gmail? How do we create tasks? So I'm going to go to an email I received, and in red font you'll notice that there's a date. You can use Gemini, and I love this, to add the date to my calendar. So what it's going to do, it's going to search this email. It's going to find the date, which it did. You'll notice that it named it AI for Kentucky Educators. It gives me the date and the time. I'm just going to click on Edit Event. And when it pops up, I'm going to be able to click Save, and it's that quick for adding a date to your Google Calendar. I love this because no longer do I have to copy and paste information into my Google Calendar from my Gmail. I can do it all on one page using Google Gemini. Now there's something else I want to show you as well, and that's called Task. I'm a big user of Task now because we get so busy and we forget things. But you'll notice, for example, it says please submit your ideas here. So I can go up to my Task button, which everyone has, click on it, and simply type in add, or click on Add Task and type in prepare for an AI session. I know that it's going to be due on Wednesday, September 17th, so I can click on my calendar. I can go to September. I can click on the 16th if I want it done the day before. I do not have to choose a time if I don't want to. Click Done. And now what's going to happen as I add tasks, as I continue to get more emails and I add tasks, it will always put those tasks in chronological order. Now the nice thing about that is I can also go to my Google Calendar, click on Task, and you're going to see that what I put in Gmail is also showing up on my Google Calendar as well. So I really like that, that feature, and it keeps me organized as well, and it will show up in my Google Calendar. All right. I hope that helps you with the things that we can do in Gmail to make you more efficient, more effective, and save you a lot of time. And then we'll hop over and take a look at Google Docs next.